You put right on the spot. Right on the spot again, man. One of the keys to doing this would be to be relaxed. It's, say you're upstairs doing the dishes or something, talking out loud to yourself. And then you stop, just making these good points. Yeah, that was a good point, but then you got silence. I guess that's where the editing thing would have to come in. Sources of significance. I've been looking over this again. I don't know what it is in the fall. I got it in the fall 2 years ago. Been over it many times. Did this video on it yesterday. Turned 17 minutes. I got all this stuff highlighted. Reading passages. I didn't post it. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I'm gonna. And I don't even know if I'm going to this. Every time I sit down here, I think, hey, I'm gonna be able to say something, but it's only in bursts. The editing thing. That's how I would have to do it to get it, say, within 10, 15 minutes. Something really concise. Maybe not, I don't even know if it would be that. Natural guilt, that's the main thing I've been, the point of that. When I first heard it, it was natural guilt. And it to this day, man, I'm still not sure what that means. At first I thought, okay, is this original sin? Because sometimes it seems like that. What is original sin? I'm on the spot right now, I don't know. Then I think, nah, it's not that. See, I got that worked out, but I can't say it right now. At least worked out more than I can think of now. The fucking camera gives you a kind of stage fright, Among other things, I need a cigarette and... This is one of the most difficult things in books. I mean, it's not as hard as some of the other ones. But as a whole, yeah. See, I've been through it up to about the Goffman facework stuff, which I hate to say it, but a lot of that sounds like bullshit. That's how it sounds. I could be dead wrong. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's, I don't know, that's crass and stupid to try to, it's difficult stuff. Is the human sacred? I don't get it. I don't get that, man. Sacred? That's what... I don't know what that means. I mean, yeah, of course, in general, right. You treat one another with respect. Humans can be violated and open to experiences of dehumanization. Alright, all that ugly ass shit, sure. But does that mean... I don't know. It's too hard to talk about, man. Heroism without expiation. Just luck here, the cosmological grounds of logos. I've read through it, and I've done better than I have in the past, but I can't go back to it and think, oh yeah, now I understand the cosmological grounds of logos and the natural guilt. Many people in the modern Western world feel they ought to be a self-cause. They believe in the obligation to think for themselves, and they feel pressure to make something of themselves. They understand themselves reflexively and have assumed the authority, at least to some degree, for self-governance. How did it come to this? How were persons enabled to presume that as individuals, or even as individuals forming publics, they should own such a responsibility? Yeah, imagine, I'd go nuts, man, if you read like really long things like this. I've never been that huge on out loud reading. This question, a query into the various historical sources of the modern casuistry project, addressed in Chapter 1. Here I simply recall that for Ernest Becker the main source was symbol use, coupled with money and linear calendars. Cyclical rituals of worldly rejuvenation came slowly to be modified by modern notions of linear time. And moreover, accruals of compound interest and various material and technological innovations gave more and more reality to the notion of an autonomous, freestanding individual. Is there as a footnote, is there one? I don't know. Becker writes, money sums up the casuistry project all in itself. We might add that reliable contraception was perhaps an equally powerful force in releasing the modern casuistry project. I mean, you could spend hours sitting here rambling on this stuff. Just, a little thing. Shit. There's just so many things that are like, oh, well, what? In brief, money makes the stranger functionally possible. Symbol reveals how monetary forms were necessary not only for the objectification of value in human experience, but also for releasing individuals from any particular collective. I don't know, so what, man? We're like tribal, and then we're not. Literacy seems to have made all the difference in freeing up the resources of interiority and in facilitating the development of self-reflexive individuals. Perhaps more clearly and extensively than any other thinker. Ong documents how the emergence of personalism and the reach of outward objectification ran in conjunction with historical developments in communication technologies. All have identified socio-historical factors that actualize the experience of individuation and extended the reach of outward transcendence. If I did this enough, I'd hit on something. But I'm serious, it would take like 16 hours more, I don't know. I'm going to sit here like this and go through the entire book. Yeah, this one too, mediation. I keep hearing that word, man. I'm like, that's not part of my vocabulary, man. I remember I looked it up and I was thinking, alright, I think I get what that's saying, but a word, and then you just keep hearing it. It's like, shit, what mediation? It's probably not even that difficult. Individualistic anonymity. Okay, technical innovation supposedly made individualistic anonymity fully functional and ever expanding in its possibilities. As the two legs upon which the modern Cause of Sweet project walks, there are the forms of mediation that enable people to cover over the unending ambiguity of existence and their own natural guilt. They are part of the attempt in an impossible heroism, one that would be beyond the need of expiation. Okay, there's a ton of stuff right there. That was pretty good. I mean, in terms of making sense and setting out a few things. And then, oh shit, I gotta keep reading. Let me look at the footnote or something. See if it says anything. I don't have it marked for ease of access. Okay, what is it, man? It's Eric Collar eloquently accounts for the process of natural historical evolution, and he renders the individual as an historical inevitability, one precast by Jesus. My God, why have you forsaken me? I'm not that familiar. I'm not sure if I know that. Whereas for Lacan, the mirror stage is basically a metaphor for natural development. For anthropologist Edmund Carpenter, mirrors and photographic images played a key historical and cultural role in the emergence of self-reflective individuation. Camera right there. I don't know, man. So what did I say? Heroism without expiation, I have been suggesting, becomes possible only where money and literacy are already found. Even so, modern people who literally pay for what they own easily imagine themselves as fully and completely self-made, as if from the bottom up. If asked about natural guilt, they neither consciously feel it nor do they explicitly yearn to expiate it. But this doesn't mean that moderns have successfully become self-causes. Nor does it mean that they have extirpated the roots of natural guilt. Despite the many life horizons where the sense of the Cause of Sweet project prevails, ambiguity always remains. Earthquake, flood, fire, lightning bolt, brain aneurysm, or other kinds of crisis can be only moments away. Throughout the previous two chapters, I addressed the theme of individuation as well as explored the nature and scope of human transcendence. The task taken up in the present chapter is to show how the seeds of the Cause of Sweet project were metaphysically sown. Turn to the philosophical biology of Hans Jonas. Focusing on the ever-developing forms of mediation, there it is again, i.e. expanding horizons of merger and division, as well as individuation and transcendence. Life per se seems to have embarked on the venture of becoming more individuated and self-aware, and opening thereby to wider and greater risks. The cosmos itself is therefore guilty of having made logos possible, It bears the weight of having enabled the drive towards the experience of individuation, a physically and materially doomed individuation, which nonetheless holds the possibility of expanding modes of transcendence. Alright, that's good. Logos, man, language, whatever it is, reasoning. I mean, okay, there it is again. So that's a main source of natural guilt. Self-reflect. Okay, that's coming back to what I was saying. Is this the same thing as self-reflection? You can't feel guilty without that. This is my mirror cyclical thing, you know. You can't. So okay, natural guilt. And then I keep nitpicking the word guilt. Of course, it's natural. Okay, so original sin. I'm guilty because I thought of myself. Because who can't do that? I've cut the root out. I listened to Eckhart Tolle and whoever, and I cut out the root. Self-reflection. I cared about myself. I got up and brushed my teeth because I didn't want them to rot. That would be ego too, right? No. You get the point, So, natural. Original sin, if we could ever just agree on what that means. I thought it was just some kind of metaphor or a tale for what I just was talking about. The development of that self-reflective I or whatever, ego or whatever you want to call it in humans. Then there's another twist on that for me is the Sartrean twist that about the fall is like the fall before the other. That's a whole kind of different thing. I've kind of thought like, well, I'm not guilty. I'm not anything without the other. You know what I'm guilty. How could you be if no one else existed, man? It would be like that's just like a feeling of mine. Like you're not, no one's anything without someone else to say, to witness it and to say, yeah. And then they can act on that. You're this or that. Get that motherfucker. You know what I mean? In the worst case. Or I love him. Listen to that. He's such a what a character, That would be the other way. Yeah, that was a good part though. Chapter 3, the cosmological grounds of logos. That was just accident. When I mark stuff out, I can't get anything good out of it. So, yeah, I was just saying something there. I'm overdue. My brain needs drugs. Yeah, nicotine. It's 12 hours. I have one at like 9 at night. It's 9 in the morning now. In a way, it could be good because you could ramble like I'm doing now. Because I'll be doing it up. I used to smoke earlier, like 7 or something. And I cut down a little and started having it at 9. And one thing I noticed I was doing was rambling, cleaning the kitchen up there and just talking these monologues like this. Because the brain is whatever, it's all irritable or something. But in a way, it could be good. I would think, shit, that was some good stuff. I should have recorded that. But it comes in bursts. Which for a video, to really not make it 3 hours long, you'd have to edit it. But that was some impossible heroism that would be beyond the need of expiation. And expiation is not exactly part of my vocabulary, I know. And I'm forgetting exactly what that means, man. It's like to be a forgiveness, a atonement, I think. But that's just, it's not. I'm not going around. I could probably never say expiation in my life. It would be, that's how a lot of this is. A lot of these are terms and that you just don't use them. Jonas's overall sketch gives solid support to Becker's claim that the development of life is life's own burden. We are not, therefore, either socially or personally the source of natural guilt. The universe itself is guilty of having released itself into the ambiguous and perilous odyssey of selfhood. And we are merely sites of the guilt naturally encumbered. See, I think all the difficulties I'm having with this, it's there. But it's like, it's still not clear exactly. But I can sense that it's there. The issues. The critical implication for this study, I will try to show, regards the possibility of learning how to forgive the universe for individuating itself. One's own case in particular. It just seems like important stuff here. We can thereby learn to engage in heroic expiations, rituals of worldly rejuvenation that mediate upon the eternal, and give grateful forgiveness to the mysterious powers from which our lives emerged, and upon which they ambiguously depend. Alright, that's all good stuff there. I guess I'll stop. Because I still want to say, natural guilt, what? As much as I'm getting a sense of what that is, it's like, it's not part of my vocabulary yet, Try talking to that about just, to anyone.